everything you've always wanted to know about real estate, but didn't know who to ask. Hello, and welcome to Smart Real Estate. I'm your host, Angie Stanley. Today, we're very lucky to have Maria Pena-Morales. She's a realtor with Team Q of RE/MAX Ranch and Beach. Danny Harani, he's a lender with Gaylord Hanson Team of Gateway Funding. And finally, Armin Abramian with Vester Pest Control. Hi Maria, how are you? And thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So tell me, Maria, why did you choose to become a realtor?
Oh gosh, well, I had been in business for myself previously, but always had the dream of getting into real estate. And my father being a carpenter, building the house that I grew up in, it was just something I always had a passion for. So I had the opportunity and jumped right in.
Wow, that sounds awesome. And tell me, so you work for Team Q of RE/MAX Ranch and Beach. So tell me, what is Team Q?
So Team Q was actually originally founded by Danny and Marcy Corisa. That's where the Q came from.
Okay.
They were looking to retire, and that was about the time that I met them. Having had been a business owner previously and wanting to get into the real estate field, it was the perfect marriage. They were looking to retire and train someone to take over, and I was looking to learn the business. So Marcy became my mentor. I just followed her lead and was able to take over Team Q about 12 years ago.
Wow, that's exciting. Who all is included in Team Q? Is it just you or?
No, absolutely. We have a whole team of us working together. Cindy Ellison is our buyer specialist. She also works with listings. We also have Christine Fulton, and also a buyer specialist. Loves working with first-time home buyers. Karen Pritchard, who's a licensed agent and also is our transaction coordinator. And then we also have a support team that helps us as well. So we have just a great team of people working together.
And why a team? What's the difference between working with a team compared to just a single realtor?
You know, one of the most common complaints that we hear from consumers about their relationship with their realtor is the frustration that they have that they can't reach that person, that person may be in meetings or working obviously with other clients, and that communication is really key. The key with working with a team is that all of us are working together. So now for, basically the same cost of, hiring an agent, you now have a team working for you. And our buyer specialists are out there looking for buyers for our listings. Our transaction coordinator is in the office every day working the files. So if a client has a question and their direct agent is not available, the rest of the team can fill in the blanks.
Oh, okay, so you get superior service but at the same cost.
Exactly.
Awesome. So tell me, what makes Team Q different?
You know, when Team Q was first founded, it really was a family environment. It was Danny and Marcy and their daughter Cindy, who's still on our team. And as they grew and as the team concept became more and more prevalent in the industry, it began growing as a family. And Christine being a part of that family, myself being a part of that family, Karen, and we actually do truly have a relationship. Cindy and Karen were in the business before I was. And Christine as well. So the longevity, we've been working together for 15 years as, knowing each other and working together. We also live and work here in the community. Although we can service all of San Diego County, we live and work primarily here in the Poway Unified School District. So with that, we have a tremendous familiarity with our community, with the organizations, with the businesses, and so that just provides that much better service to our clients.
Wow, okay. And tell me, what do you do at Team Q that makes you different, I guess, or makes you stand above the rest?
You know what? I think the biggest testament to our success has been the fact that 80% of our business is repeat customers coming back or them referring us to their family, their children, and now their grandchildren are coming to us to purchase their homes. And that, to me, I think is what makes us stand out. We don't necessarily need to do a whole lot of outward advertising for new clients because our existing client database continues to refer the business to us or comes back to us when they're ready to move up or downsize.
And tell me, so you guys are very involved in the community. So what's going on right now? Do you have any exciting things going on in the community, or are you just always looking for ways to get involved?
Through the RE/MAX organization, we have a tremendous relationship with the Komen organization, and so every year we participate in the 5K that happens in October in Balboa Park. And then throughout the course of the year, we also have a relationship with Children's Miracle Network, and a portion of every commission check goes to our local Rady Children's Hospital. So those are ongoing things that we're doing. But right now we're in the middle of just launching, as of today, the Rancho Bernardo Honorary Mayor Program. And what that does is it keeps our donations of charities and all the funds stay right here in Rancho Bernardo. So we're about to launch this. Today's our first day. All the fundraising that we do helps the Boys and Girls Club, the Rancho Bernardo Community Foundation, even the Miss RB pageant, the scholarship program for her. Just a great organization.
And you're running for honorary mayor, correct?
I am running for honorary mayor, yes.
Very cool. Well, congratulations. I know you'll be very successful. Now tell me, if you could give me 3 tips to someone that's looking to, I would say, sell their home, what would they be?
The very first thing would be to hire a professional full-time real estate agent or team. And the key to that is, you may know someone that dabbles in it and maybe, has their license, but there are so many new things going on right now. And the industry is constantly changing. And so they need to be at the forefront of knowing what's going on. So that's number 1. Number 2 is really taking the advice of that agent and doing things like staging their home, really making it move-in ready, as pristine as it possibly can be, so that the buyers see the potential of that home. And it could require decluttering and getting rid of things, whatever that agent and stager recommends to you. And then thirdly is really knowing that do you have the ability to negotiate. If you're selling your home right now in the market today, you're in the driver's seat. So you really have a great opportunity right now.
Okay, and then what about for a buyer? A couple tips for someone looking to buy their home right now. What's going on? Is this a good time?
It is a good time. The industry rates right now are at phenomenal rates. So they can actually afford a payment much more so now than ever before. And it is almost like being a seller. Put yourself in the best light. Have everything. Work with a reputable lender who really understands what your particular financial profile is, so you're not looking at homes that aren't within your budget. And then also making that package look as beautiful as possible, whether that be financials, pre-approval letters, anything that you can do to make yourself stand out.
Okay, wow, great advice. Thanks so much, Maria, for coming on. And then coming up next, we're going to be joined with Danny Harani. He's a lender with Gaylord Handsome team at Gateway Funding, and he's going to tell us all about some insider lending tips. Now we're joined by Danny Harani. He is a lender with the Gaylord Handsome team at Gateway Funding. Hi, Danny. How are you today?
Hi, Angie. Doing well.
Doing good. Okay, so tell me, what's your favorite part about being a lender?
Probably just the opportunity to help people. I mean, buying a home is such a huge part of people's lives, and the loan side of that is just a huge part, and we're happy to be able to help people out.
Absolutely. And what made you get into the business?
Well, I kind of fell into it. I was working for a home builder at the time, and just realized that the lending side of it was, like I said earlier, just such a huge component, and that really the biggest stress point for a lot of the buyers. And I wanted to get in front of that and help kind of relieve some of that stress.
Okay, now tell me, mortgage insurance. What's going on with mortgage insurance?
Well, that's actually a really exciting part of the business right now, because mortgage insurance was out of the game for a really long time, and it's finally starting to come back. And it's providing a huge opportunity for buyers who really just haven't saved up that full 20% down payment, because the mortgage insurance allows you to buy a home with, in some cases, as little as 5% down.
Okay, and tell me, do you have to have mortgage insurance to purchase any kind of house, or is it just specific loans?
In some cases, certain loan products require mortgage insurance all the time. For example, an FHA loan, you always have to have mortgage insurance to have that type of loan program. But in the case of conventional loans, you only need mortgage insurance when you put less than 20% down. In that case, the mortgage insurance actually protects both the buyer and the lender from having less than 20% equity in the home.
Okay, so that's why you're saying, so now if you don't have 20% down, you can still get a loan, but you do have to purchase the mortgage insurance.
Exactly, yeah,
okay.
Exactly right.
And then when did this change? Is this a new regulation, or how recently has that been, I guess, brought to the table?
Well, mortgage insurance has been around for years and years and years, but in the financial meltdown, the mortgage insurance companies were hit very hard, because they were insuring the portion of the home that was between 80 and 100%. And so when home values dropped, their position and security was just wiped out. And so a lot of mortgage insurance companies actually went out of business, and the others that didn't go out of business pulled out of the market almost completely. So now it's just been in the last year and a half that they've come back, because now home values are starting to appreciate. So their risk position, instead of being really questionable, is starting to be a lot more favorable for their business model.
Okay, so it sounds like today is a good time to buy?
Oh, absolutely. Hands down, for a ton of reasons, and mortgage insurance is just one tool that can be used to get into the market.
Okay, so what would you say the top 3 reasons to buy a house right now would be?
Well, I mean, the biggest one is that we're really starting to see home prices rebound. So that concern that a lot of buyers had, even as recently as last year, 12 months ago, there was a question: is this the bottom? Could prices drop another 10%? And people were really taking a leap of faith by getting into the market at that time. But now, where we've seen month after month of price increases, that concern is really taken away. And so, the home prices going up provides a huge security for those buyers and an opportunity to then, gain net worth from seeing that appreciation go into their pockets instead of somebody else's. And then the other really major thing is that interest rates are still incredibly low, still at historic low rates. We actually locked somebody yesterday on a conforming loan for 3.25%, 30-year fixed, no prepayment penalty. Incredible interest rates.
So in your professional opinion, do you think those interest rates will stay down? Or if not, when do you think that they'll start, dramatically going up?
Well, it's really hard to say exactly what's going to happen with interest rates, but most economists, and I believe this too, is that they can't stay at this level forever. Mm-hmm. They're artificially low. They're being maintained at these low levels by very aggressive action by the government. And when that action stops or slows, interest rates have to rise. They can't stay at these levels forever because they're unsustainable. So when they do go up, I expect it'll be pretty incremental, but my kind of instincts, and again, there's no crystal ball, but my instincts are that we're probably going to be in the mid-4s a year from today.
You see it as a steady increase. You don't see it going, from, like you said, you locked it 3.25 up to 10% by next year.
Oh, no. Yeah, there is a very outside chance of rates going up to the 7, 8s, 9s, but that wouldn't be for many, many years.
Okay.
And again, no crystal ball, but that's kind of how things tend to happen in the past.
And then tell me, okay, for refinancing, are the regulations, are they getting a little bit more lax? I know a lot of people have had some problems refinancing their homes. What's going on with the refinance market?
Well, refinancing, really, the challenge for people was their home equity. So once again, the appreciation is coming to play and really helping people out who previously were underwater or didn't have enough equity to make that 80% threshold where a refinance made sense. But the mortgage insurance comes into play here too, because it's not just for buying a home where mortgage insurance can be an option. Also in refinancing, you can even be at now 95% of your home's value with your loans and get a new loan with mortgage insurance at a lower interest rate than you're paying now. That's especially true if you had an FHA loan in the last 12 months. We're seeing a lot of people save, in some cases, hundreds of dollars by getting out of their existing FHA loan into a conventional loan with mortgage insurance.
It sounds like there's a lot of options, there's a lot of programs out there. What would you suggest as far as finding out about these programs?
Well, the biggest thing to do is to talk to a professional, somebody that's a full-time lender and preferably a direct lender, not a broker. Because a lot of times the direct lenders have access to, really, they have the control over the process, so they can give more confident and accurate advice on what is possible for a refinance or a purchase.
Yeah, that's great advice, because I think a lot of people don't even know the difference. So
right.
Thanks so much, Danny, for coming on today. The information has been great. And then next we have Armin from Vester Pest Control. He's going to talk about why pest control is such an integral part of the real estate transaction. Now we're going to talk with Armin Abramian with the Vester Pest Control. Hi Armin, how are you today?
I'm doing good, how are you?
I'm doing well. So tell me, how did you get into pest control?
Well, I got in the pest control industry by chance. I was looking for temporary work, and I saw an ad in the newspaper, and I was studying entomology in my college. We had a course as insects spreading contagious disease, and I decided to try myself.
So then did you start your own company, or did you work
Well,
for a company,
to
or?
start your own company in the pest control industry, it's a requirement. You have to work as inspector 6 years, and after you're allowed to take a test to become an operator.
So there's actually a lot of regulations.
In the pest control industry, you're working with the toxic substances on the private properties, and you have to have a knowledge how to apply and what to do.
I guess you think about just a bunch of bugs and a job that maybe some people would be scared to do, but it sounds like there's a lot that goes into this. I mean, this is a integral part when someone's looking to buy a house, that they have a pest control done, correct?
Well, when you buy in a house, it's structural pest control board create it's called wood destroying organisms report. That report specifically designed for real estate transaction. Most houses build wood frame construction, and we all know that termites, dry rot, they destroy the wood and it can compromise the structure.
Is that what you would say the number one thing that you find sometimes with the inspections is termites, or?
Well, in San Diego County we have two kinds of houses, houses with termites and houses which are going to be with termites. It's just a matter of time.
Why is that? Is it the water?
It's a weather.
The weather, okay. And what would you say, are people able to see, just by a blind eye that they have termites, or are there signs that,
Definitely, yeah. If you see swarmers is a flying insects, look like ants. If you see those, please keep a sample and give a call to a professional to identify. Also, you can see damaged wood. Also, you can see pellets. It's look like coffee grains, multicolor, or you can see mud shelter tubing. But my main recommendation, every couple of years, call a professional and let somebody else go around your house to do an inspection.
Yeah, because sometimes it may not be in a noticeable area. It could be in an attic or a basement or something like that, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Mostly dry wood termite infestation visible on the attic space because that location undisturbed and it's all exposed to wood members.
So someone looking to buy a house and they do the walkthrough and everything looks great and they maybe choose to opt out of getting the pest control done. What do you say about that? Have you heard horror stories of people that have, maybe chosen not to do it and then a year or 2 years down the road they've got some major issues on their hands?
Well, the market is full of different kind of stories, but I definitely going to recommend before you buy a house to have a pest control inspection, because the professional going to stop by and he's going to check your property with rules and regulations that have been designed for wood destroying organisms report, and the inspector not looking only for termites and dry rot. Also, he is looking for conducive conditions. Conditions likely lead to the future problem. For example, earth-to-wood contact, faulty grades, excessive moisture, and stuff like that.
And then if they see those signs that could maybe foresee the future of having problems, is there anything you can do? Or it's just one of those things, we live in San Diego, the weather,
Well, the report designed the way that you have a recommendation and you have a finding. That when inspector found something at your property, he makes a findings, and right after findings, he writes his recommendation. Okay. What should be done in this specific case.
Now, for someone getting a loan, is it usually a requirement that they do have someone, from pest control come in and take a look at the house, or not always?
It depends. Some lending institutions require, some not.
And what would you say 3 tips would be to someone looking to find a pest control company? Is there, 3 things that you could recommend that someone should really look for to find the right company?
Well, first, the pest control company, it should be licensed. Second, it should have the good record, and I would recommend to look, for example, like in the Better Business Bureau or Structural Pest Control Board, the history of the company.
Okay, and what kind of licensing does it require for someone to have a pest control company?
Like I told you before, you have to work as inspector on a field a certain amount of years and take a test, operator test.
Okay, so if it's licensed.
And after you can open the pest control company.
So if they're licensed, that the person's been doing this quite a while and knows.
Correct,
what's going
but
on.
yeah, it's always a good idea to check the credential of the companies.
And then tell me a couple tips that you could give to someone that is selling their home, as far as maybe to decide if they're going to do the pest control before, or if they're going to have the future buyer do the pest control. Is there a difference there of whose responsibility it is to do those?
Well, every situation is different and depends from that situation. Sometimes it's a good idea to do wood destroying organisms report before put house on the market. or in some cases, it's a good idea to do it during a real estate transaction.
So it's just very
It's
situational.
Correct.
Okay. Well, thanks so much, Armand, for coming on. And tell me, would you come back to the show another day?
With pleasure.
All right. And thanks to all of our guests that joined us today on Smart Real Estate. Everything you've always wanted to know about real estate, but didn't know who to ask. I'm your host, Angie Stanley.